Welcome to NGS, where we dive into my hobbies, such as playing cards. Today I have a bicycle deck, which I got a while ago, and I got it for pretty cheap because it was damaged. As you can tell, you can see this thing's falling apart, the top is frayed everywhere, but this is the Bicycle Gold playing cards deck. For those who do not know, my favorite color is gold, and these cards, I mean, as you can see, that's exactly what they are, gold. So let's go ahead and dive into it. On the front here we have a golden spade that is built like, I guess, line work to look kind of like a fence. It looks like a fence to me, a very decorative swirly loopy-doopy fence, but it's made to look like a spade. Then we have gold written down here with these, they look like very fancy pillars or the end of spears. And then playing cards are written right there, and this very interesting line. It kind of looks like some audio waves, you know what I mean? And then this whole thing is bordered by this golden swirly corner outline. Pretty nice. The background is black, and it is a glossy black, as you can see from the reflection of the light. On the side here we have gold in that same font with that same spade, I believe. Yeah, that's the same spade on both sides, and then of course that golden border outline again. On this side we have the exact same thing. On the top here we have, I assume, what is the same thing again that says gold, but it's covered by a seal. And on the bottom we have here the copyright information. It's technically a flap now. On the back here we have ourselves a preview of what the back of the deck is going to look like, along with a bunch of, dirt stains, because this is used. We have here in the bottom right corner the giant spade that we saw on the front. It says air cushion finish cards right here because they are air cushion finish, which is Bicycle's like linen finish that they do on all their cards. And then we have here the back, which I will go over while looking at the deck in a second. The seal here is that same spade, but it's not foiled. It's just like gold, mustard yellow, a non-shiny gold, with that same color outline on the seal. Let's crack into these bad boys. On the flap we have the copyright tag and stuff. On the tabs here we have that same spade, but it is also foiled. See? Woo, shiny! And underneath all of that we have water damage. Yeah, that is not part of the deck. That is just because of what I assume or presumed happened to this deck before I bought it. And here are the cards. Look at that. All gold. And it's a metallic gold, so it's not foiled, but it is still shiny, as you can see right here. So let's go ahead and go into the intricacies of the back here. In the middle here we have very small line work, kind of looks like a chain that is wrapping around. And in the middle it's kind of like a tie-dye of gold lines and black lines, not really making any actual shape, or recognizable shape at least. And outside that we have a circle with these club looking like fence posts with a giant leaf coming out from the top. We have vine work all the way around this other circle right here. And then on the end we have these, I would call them like a gate topper, the things you see on the top of gates on fences. And then in the background, very subtly, we have that same pattern that you see in the middle just spread throughout the background, outlined in a black line, which would create the gold borders that you see. Yeah, this deck is a very, that was terrible. Yep, this deck is made by Bicycle, so the quality is going to be top-notch, as you would expect. Let's give it a little spread here with a flip to the faces. And here we are. We have the Ace of Spades, which is covered in that fence work, line work I was talking about earlier, but there is a gradient. We have like a really dark brown that slowly becomes gold, and we see that in the spade as well. And of course, the spade, as per usual, is what we see on the front of the tuck case. It says gold playing cards, and it has the same font and same stoppers that the word gold has on the tuck case right here. See? And in the background, in a very light off-white, we have here this circle and a circle here, and then more patterns here, like a banner is what it looks like. So that's a pretty interesting detail that they added. They did not have to add that, but they did. And that is what these spades are going to look like, and of course, presumably the same with the diamonds and the clubs and the hearts. Very big and fat indices, I would say, that are also behind the outline, which does make it a little more difficult to see them when you fan like that. You're gonna have to see, normally you'd be able to see them on a bicycle deck. On these you cannot. You will have to give yourself a really long stretched out fan to see them. Yeah, that's a little difficult. And this right here is water damage. It's on a few of the cards here, as you can see, but that is really the only damage these have. And the font is a very like Times New Roman minus the end cap long rectangles that you usually see like on the bottom of the ace right here. Now we get to the court cards, which are a gradient of brown to gold. They really remind me of the Aurora deck, which if you haven't seen that one, I will put a link to it right here. And I mean like with the gradient and the line work that borders the card, so on and so forth. But yeah, the color scheme here is going to be gold, brown, and lighter brown, and darker brown. Nonetheless though, it is still the classic default bicycle face cards that you come to expect. The Ace of Diamond gets some extra attention like the Ace of Spades with the giant fancy line work diamond. And that exact same diamond is what we see in the pips over here, which are unnecessarily big, I would say. Here are the diamond court cards and then the club court cards. And here are the club pips, which again is made up of line work. Very intricate and I'd say beautiful line work. With all the intricacy, you can still tell it's a club. And there's the upside down Ace of Clubs. There you go. And here's the hearts. And there's the Ace of Hearts. Giant heart with line work, yes. And a water stain up here. We get no double backers, no promo cards, or at least I don't think so. Maybe it did and the previous owner threw them away, but as far as I can tell, I don't see any at all. So let's go ahead and see if this thing glows in a black light. And the answer is no. What about the backs? Well, I kind of expected the backs not to glow, but not the face cards. But yeah, no glow. And here is the tuck case, which as you can see, which seems to be the case with a lot of tuck cases, the inside glows. So yeah, that is the Bicycle Gold playing cards. I believe they were a limited edition. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me, but if I can find a link to them, I will put it down in the description below. And as per usual, I do have a giveaway going on right now. If you go to the link down below, that video will tell you all you need to know. But thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you right back in the next video.
You're dealing with the ghost. We are spitting facts, so don't mistake it with the boast. Looking for a lethal injection, we got the dose. We are giving the chills from your head down to your toes. You're trying to touch us, but you're dealing with the ghost.